I'm sorry.
Babble, we can't keep doing this.
Listen, OBS gave me another pop-up. I'm sorry. It's been a while since it's given me a pop-up. So I had to call it a name.
Man. Hey, I missed our FPSs very much. Hi folks, I'm Authenticity. I will be playing a chicken. It's very early for me, but I am here. I am also joined by the wonderful, the fantabulous, the spectacular, and the affectionately lauded.
Joke's on you, I don't know what the word lauded means.
It means praised. You are laudable.
Hi, I'm Babble. I'm dying internally. In a good way. It is also super early on my end. I might be a little high off of being tired, which isn't really being high, it's just being tired, but here we are.
God.
I play Juniper.
So,
I'm sorry, I forgot to announce who I was playing. I play the puppy.
They would have figured it out eventually. They're smart kids.
Are you sure about that?
I am not actually. I have no idea if people listen to these recordings.
I say that with
anyways,
affection.
You. Gosh. Alright, so Babble, you were the one with the plan today. Where are we?
Shit. You know what? I picked all the places that I knew we weren't gonna go, and I forgot to pick the place we were. Okay, let me grab a shotgun and fire at the map.
Pitch something to you? May I pitch something to you, sort of on recording?
Go for it.
I don't know if you've ever been to, like, the really corn-heavy area of the Midwest, but, like, I'm thinking specifically of this one sort of, like, cafe diner thing that was in Nebraska that I visited that was, like, not only in the middle of nowhere, but in the middle of oblivion. Like, there was nothing but golden grass and, like, frighteningly flat horizon anywhere around it. And to this day, like, no one who was with me can decide whether it was in this town or a different town. It might have been like a ghost in like a collective hallucination, but it was, pretty good omelets.
You know what?
Like, they're out in the middle of nothing and nowhere.
You know what? Fair as fuck. We could call it the Wandering Town of... or the Wandering Coffee Shop.
Say it one more time? You cut out.
God fucking damn it. It's my internet being an asshole. So we could just call it the Wandering Bean. Hello?
I like that very much.
Okay.
No, I'm here. I said I like that very much.
Okie dokie. Hee-hoo. It is a local cryptid kind of coffee shop. That's where we are right now.
Indeed. Hey, does Juniper have a car?
Yeah, I imagine, honestly, she's probably got a few. Mostly because she's a mechanic.
She was like, you know what, I need a car, I can just make one. No big deal, just make a car.
Yeah. As long as she's got, like, the body, she can probably just build one from scratch.
honestly, the body of a card is not that hard to make, I don't think. Like, you need metal and you need, like, really good welder's tools, I think.
It, I mean,
Anyways,
as someone who has seen cars being built, not in real life, but like I've watched enough, like, this is how it's made kind of thing. I feel like she would want to go the safer route and get the body that's already been crash tested and shit like that, instead of crash testing it
makes
herself.
sense. I don't know, that sounds like a fun afternoon. But no, that's valid.
Maybe some other time. She's used to, like, testing ships for that, not cars.
I'm just imagining her, like, testing a car as she would a boat. And of course, it just completely smashing and just being like, well, that one wasn't so great. On to the next one.
That implies that she. Okay. I don't even know if this is really. If you even crash test or sink test a fucking ship. Do you sink test a ship? I don't know. But in this world, Juniper has. Several times. She has taken a ship out into the ocean and then just rammed it into the shore or a cliff. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Saying that out loud makes it seem less and less likely. But that's not important right now.
It's true.
So I think our opening shot, because we have not started, we haven't even started this FPS yet. It's been, what, 10 minutes? 10 minutes.
God, we're tired and we're hooligans and we're meme lords as well. I think we deserve at least 10 minutes of being tired.
Bold of you to assume that once we start the FPS, we will not be hooligans and tired.
You're not wrong.
But anyways, our opening shot, I think is, that thing where you sit on top of a car, and like when it's stopped and just you don't want to sit on the ground. There's nothing else really around, so you're just like, you know what, I can be tall for a while.
Yeah.
I think that TOC would like to do that while they're looking at the map, just to sort of realize. So they would like to know where they are. And they're kind of struggling because while they have traveled quite a bit, it was at a time in their life when signposts were a struggle. So they have taken possession of the map and they are just sort of squinting at it suspiciously.
All right. I think first thing Juniper is gonna do is if it's just the two of them, which I'm assuming it is, she probably took her pickup truck. So I'm guessing TOC is either in the back of it or on top of the hood. To which case, Juniper will absolutely be joining TOC.
I think that they're on top of the cab, but once they see her like climbing up onto the car, they'll flutter down into the truck bed just to be like, oh, okay, room for both of you.
Yeah, I'm honestly like if you said that TOC was on top of the cabin, Juniper was probably at first going to try and climb up onto the hood and then onto the cabin. Realize very quickly that that's probably not the best idea because she's big and she's heavy, and then just get down and go to the truck bed.
gosh.
But then she's gonna try
Actually,
and.
you know what? I think that we. Oh, sorry.
What's up?
Well, I was going to suggest that we have this sequence sort of like wordless of them like adjusting position, and then like they settle like with Juniper holding the map, looking at it, and TOC like perched on her head, also looking at the map very seriously.
Heck yeah. Sounds great. Um, Juniper
Mm.
has reading glasses, I'm gonna say. And it's those kind that, like, snap together in the middle from, like, a small chain.
Mm.
Because I think that that'd be cool and that's very techy. I think. So she puts those on.
Actually, hey Babble,
Yeah?
hey Babble, do you remember over the last couple weeks since Jade ran the game Enter the Graveyard, TUC has had a new item that neither of us would tell you about because we want to get your reaction to it on recording?
Uh, barely, but sort of.
Hmm. Well, it is no I think that actually TC hasn't been wearing these in the car because, you know, it's very jostly and bumpy and these are made of glass. But when she
Not
next
how
looks
that
up from
works.
the map, you know, don't worry about it. It's, yeah. Um, when she looks up, TUC is wearing little old lady reading glasses with the chain around their neck.
You're both
And
old.
these
You're both old. I love
they're both old. But here's the
it.
kicker. Actually, you know what? I will save what that does to their perception for the rules. Never mind that just yet.
I'm I'm living for the fact that they match. She looks up at
Mhm.
TOC and she just you can hear the thumping of her tail against the truck bed as she says, "Oh hey, we match."
Mm. They just look very pleased and they preen the top of her head because yes they do, and it's very good.
All right. I'm going to see if Juniper can find where they are. I'm going to God. This is a puppy with no sense of direction.
Mm.
Uh, I'm. Hmm. I'm gonna guess that that's probably nature check. Oh my god, why does she have a high thing in nature? What the fuck? Okay, she knows where they are.
All right, that's a 22, folks. We're starting off strong.
Okay, she's pointing to the map and she's taking a red marker and going around the roads of where they are and where they're going and like everything like that. And then she circles where they are right then. Okay, so we started here
Mm.
in Toontown and then we went over and around. I don't know what's going on in Villestown, but I've just been avoiding UPA. I'll probably take you to UPA sometime later. But at the moment, we are in the Dreamworkers. In this
Cute.
area right here.
Uh, TUC, who I don't know if they know what countries are, and I don't know what to roll for it, nods along. Like it's They have been wondering about the strange shapes on the map that don't seem to mean anything real or important. But if they say that they're in Dreamworkers, then uh, TUC is inclined to believe her.
I'm pretty sure she probably would have babbled about it over the course of their drive if it's been like long enough for them to get to Dreamworkers by this point. I would say roll me a history check with advantage, because Juniper absolutely would have gone off about the history of some of the nations and everything like that, because she is a nerd.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, okay. So they know more or less.
That would be a 15, because advantage.
Oh, well, with that extra one, yeah, so they're following along all right. Actually, does TOC know where they're going? Like the whys and wherefores of why they're taking the trip.
I mean, the whys and wheres, honestly, I think Juniper would just take TOC out as like a break from all the chaos in Toontown. So like they're
But
not really going
they're not.
anywhere, so to speak. They're just going, and they're eventually gonna make their way back to Toontown.
Makes sense. Like it's almost like sort of like a Sunday drive, except it might be multi-day.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. I think in that case, TOC will sort of like hop down onto her shoulder from her head and sign, okay, so we're on track. Looks like we'll probably be back by the time that we're planning to be back.
Yee. Of course, barring any breakdowns, because that's gonna take time. But I don't think that she's gonna break down anytime soon. She might be old, but
the fact that you
I take care of her.
there you go.
She pats her pickup truck's side. It's a really old pickup truck, but she does take care of it.
Yeah, TUC did just witness this woman try to climb on top of the truck, but they also have, faith in her mechanical ability. So
Listen, she's smart.
they're
She's
going to
not
take it at
wise.
face value. This is mechanically very true. So I think that TUC will sign something like, well, it would be nice to stop for food at some time. I guess I could forage. I don't know this. I don't know this environment as well as I'd like, though.
I think there was a coffee shop just a little ways down the way. I heard some of the locals in the last town that we were in talking about it. You wanted to visit that? I think it was called the Bean? Wandering Bean coffee shop?
Hey, they nod. Like, if you like, they've tried coffee before. It tastes like poison unless you put sugar in it, but why not? Maybe wandering coffee will be better than regular coffee.
Oh my god, bless TOC.
Oh, one sec.
Yee. Well, hopefully I can be somewhat entertaining. I have a whole ass bowl of shredded cheese right by me. Don't worry about why. Listen, sometimes at like 4:30 in the morning, you just want a whole bowl of shredded cheddar.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Alrighty. Sorry, that snapped me right out of character. What's going on?
Are you doing alright?
Yeah, no worries.
Alrighty. To continue, Juniper is gonna look at TOC and puppy thumping of the tail against the truck bed starts up again, and she excitedly says, "Okay, well, I mean, if we're gonna go, then we should probably get back in the car or truck." Words.
Mm. They go to hop off her shoulder, but then they stop because that's very like they just like Juniper a lot, and they like for no reason in particular they just ruffle the fur on her cheek, just like, and then they'll hop off.
You don't know what you're doing to them, TOC, you fucker. That's a 6.
Oh, a 6 for what?
That was an attempt at deception.
Oh boy.
Alright, well,
So
TOC hops off and her cheeks go red and it spreads to the vast majority of her face and her tail just starts wagging. Dumbass puppy smile on her face as she tries to get up.
gosh. I think like TUC has gotten back into the truck and is waiting for her. It's a little bit odd that she's taking so long, but when she finally climbs back into the driver's seat, because do not let the chicken drive, my god. TUC will just sign. Oh, are you feeling all right? Hang on, you look dehydrated. And they'll root around for some water.
Thank you very much. I'm much appreciated.
TUC, I think they get a little bit tangled in the map, so they have to sort that out. Yeah.
Juniper will help, and then Juniper will also buckle TOC in because, dear God, she will not have this chicken flying out of the window of the car.
They know, like, they've been in a car before, once, with Trini, in Toontown, which is not the most, sedate, traffic pattern, in Einquell. So, like, I think that they have gotten the seatbelt sort of, like, rundown. Why we do it, what could happen if we don't. Like as a critter that keeps a pitchfork in their hammer's face, like I think that they understand that they probably don't want to be bouncing around a contained area too much.
Yeah, no, valid. Very valid, and Juniper very much so drives like an old lady.
Mm. She's
both
valid.
because she's
Don't
old,
speed, folks.
both because she's old, two because she can't see very well, three because she's just a nervous wreck.
Hmm. I
But
mean, do we want to roll perception to see if they can't find the wandering bean?
heck yeah. And I'm gonna say that we get to roll with advantage because we knew what we were looking for. God, okay. I'm so glad for advantage. Come on, Juniper, please. All right. I did say that you don't see shit. One moment.
All right, that's an 18. Oh, all right. Still in the silence.
God, no, they don't open until 10. All things used to open at 5. It's not Walgreens. Quite honestly, I won't get that Walgreens. Okay, do you have enough money to get the bus to work today? No. This is the only. Okay, I can just go down to the CVS Simple Change.
Man,
Especially since the girl that works at the moment, she also knows that I take the bus, so she'll probably just ignore it.
it is very early, but also I am full of emotions. Character's good.
Right now. Was yes. Oh shoot. Is he dead? It's fine. Go back to your room. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. Brother needed some stuff for the bus. But I forgot where we were. Okay.
You're good. You're good. We were rolling perception, or we had roll perception, looking for the wandering bean.
Okay. So Juniper doesn't see shit. TOC with that 18, you absolutely find it, and you probably, if you point it out to her, she is making a U-turn and going back towards it.
Yeah, they with the 18 they go okay, so up here we're going they've got the map. Okay, so we're going to have to take a left up here. That was it. Okay, so there's a place in another half mile we can take a U-turn.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry we missed it. Okay, hold on. Let me slow down.
You're good. I don't know if you want to wait until the space to do the U-turn. There's no one else. Oh, hang on.
So many interruptions.
All right. Okay, so uh they will sign I mean we could wait another half mile to do a U-turn, or if there's no one else on the road here, we could just do a U-turn right here, I guess.
No, there's a barrier in between the side of the road that we're on and the other side. We can't. Road laws. We would hit somebody if we were to just take a U-turn here and stay on this side.
I mean, TUC doesn't know cars, okay. Um,
Alright, turning. I hate left turns. Where's the. Shit, my blinker. Okay. Alright, turning. And turns around, going back.
Out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Like they are the only car on the road.
Listen, Juniper is the safe puppy. Or she tries to be. She probably forgot to turn her
And
blinker
we love
off,
her.
though.
Mm. TOC will remind her in a minute. They still have their beak buried in the map. But eventually, they they turn into the parking lot of the Wandering Bean, which I'm going to say is shaped like big that big statue in Chicago. You know the one.
Yes! I love it! I'm dying!
It's shaped like that, but it's sort of upside down compared to the bean of Chicago.
Yes! Yes! I'm living. I am living.
Mm. It's got one of the like it's imagine if the bean was 1950s themed.
Yes! Yes!
Like this is a bean with a jukebox inside.
Fucking neon sign outside and everything. God, I love
Precisely.
that.
Mm. And when they pull up, they're the only car in the parking lot. It seems open though.
That's a little weird. I don't think I've seen a
Hmm.
place this dead? But okay. Alright. Let's go get some
Hmm.
coffee and or tea or sustenance.
Mm. So
Sustenance.
inside, God, inside, it looks kind of like if you took, like an the classic malt shop, like from the Archie comics, and just took like the two sides and just lifted them. Like the tiled floor curves along with the curve of the beam shaped in structure. Except that like you don't think tile usually curves like that, but you know
We're not gonna worry about it. This is Toonland.
we're not we're not gonna worry about it. This is Toonland. People have done weirder shit to their architecture.
Yup.
Um,
I mean, for God's sake, some architecture
and
is
at
just one
the
color.
this is true.
Looks directly at UPA.
Uh,
Just whole ass blocks of color. Literal, just block color. One.
gosh. So there's two people manning the bar. One towards the diner looking part, one towards underneath the coffee menu. And one is a youngish looking kid. She's got some bubble gum. She's got some piercings, and the other is sort of just this humanoid blot of darkness with two piercing, glowing eyes in the approximate area of its face. Um, and when the bell tinkles, they both look up from their conversation.
There is just gigantic puppy and small chicken.
Mm. Yes, I think the TAC has gone back to riding on Juniper's shoulder.
Not gonna lie, I'm gonna say that Juniper is
And
also a little tired because she's probably been driving a lot lately.
mm, yeah, it's not like they can really like share the drives or the driving time.
Eee.
TUC physically cannot drive. They would need stilts.
And while Juniper can make stilts, I think that that was in hindsight, and so I don't think she has the materials.
Mm, yeah, and the man, I need to do a character voice, but I also want to be quiet. Um, I think that the uh the young like rubber hose kid with the bubble gum doesn't really say much, but the glowing blot of darkness looks at the both of you and goes, "Welcome to the wandering being. What can we get for you?"
Okay. Uh, TUC, I'm gonna let you go first because I already know what I want.
Mm, okay. Well, TUC signs coffee, and the person at the desk goes, "What kind of coffee?" And they go, "Coffee, coffee."
TUC.
And they go, "Sweet coffee?" They go, "Yeah, sweet coffee. Why not?" They go, "How sweet?" And they go, "Very." And then they go, "Coming right up, I guess. Do you want flavors?" They go, "I don't know what that means." They go, "All right. And for you, madam?"
Okay. Uh, can I have a pumpkin spice um black coffee with uh puppy treats, please?
"We can do that for you. Coming right up."
Yee.
And they note down um pumpkin spice black coffee with cookie puppy treats, and also coffee, sweet coffee, very sweet coffee, um, and hand it to the kid at the bubble with the bubble gum, who for some reason goes into the kitchen to make it. Um, that might be a little bit strange, but anyways,
Uh,
and the two of them are free to pick whatever seat they'd like.
I
There's no one
think
else in here.
that's fair. I think Juniper is gonna ask if also she can add a whole plate pile of bacon because God, she wants bacon right now.
We can do that as well.
Yes.
Uh,
Thank you.
and they write that down. And for some reason, to prepare the bacon, they go over to the coffee machine.
What? Okay. You know what? Juniper's tired. She's gonna go back to her seat and she's not gonna question that.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah,
So
it's
we got the bacon and we got the coffee ordered, and now we can sit. And she do a heckin' sit.
mm, TUC will just sort of like land on the table because it trying to accommodate chairs that fit people of Juniper's size is one frustration after another for them.
Yeah, I imagine that booths aren't exactly the most comfortable thing for them, so I think she probably chose like just a normal table with chairs that can be pulled to adjust.
Mm,
She would prefer a booth, but she's huge and TOC is small.
yes, they appreciate the accommodation. I think after they're settled, TOC will turn to Juniper and go, "So, how have you been? I feel like we haven't sat down in quite a while."
We haven't this entire trip? What? Yeah, you know what? That's fair. We
All
have
right.
been running around doing a lot of things.
Hmm. They
Hmm.
like they sort of like nip at her sleeve, careful not to peck her, but like, tell me your news. Tell me what's been what's been making you happy recently.
Um. Well, I met. Okay, so you remember you were telling me about some of your friends, yeah? I met Nebula at the park, and there was a game going called Play Ball, and Nebula and we got pinned against each other, and it was great. Nebula won, um, but I
Hmm.
had a lot of fun. So there's that.
They look very pleased.
Nebula's
They
really really
sign.
cool.
Nebula is very cool. He's also a big nerd, but I love him very much.
I am
I
also a
think you
big
mentioned
nerd.
something or other about that.
um, Outside of that, I had a nice chat with one of the people that I went on that adventure to the art museum with.
Hmm.
Um, it was nice to talk to
They
her.
actually. Oh, sorry. Um, they also look very pleased with that. But then they snap their wing fingers. Don't worry about it. And they go. Actually, I met one of the people who was there. What was their name? There were three of them.
Oh, Eeny, Miny, and
Three of them,
Mo.
but they were the one person. That's right. They accosted me in a different museum and spent probably a good 20 minutes trashing the place trying to get me underneath a Tupperware lid.
Oh no. I've been meaning to invite them over for tea. Um, gods.
They look very approving of this. They like Eeny, Miny, and Mo, more or less.
Juniper does as well. Juniper enjoys Eeny, Miny, and Mo. Um, she's just not had the spoons for chaos too much as of late, due to very clear reasons.
Mm,
Um,
that's extremely valid. It has been quite a couple of months for these two. Also
mm-hmm.
for us, but also for these two.
Yeah. And like she's going to do it. She just needs a little bit of time. She also needs to get back home before she can do that, because you can't just invite somebody over and then not be there.
This is true.
um, but after that,
TUC actually. Oh,
after that, she does like look over to TUC, her tail wiggling, doing the happy puppy thumpies against the seat. And she's like, "What about you though? What about you? Hmm? Tell me the things. Tell me all of the
mm,
things."
well, and they sort of like they fold their wings and think. Well, I had a chance to talk to Seeker. You remember I was telling you about Seeker.
Mm-hmm.
He he's also going on a trip. He's not been responding to my letters. So I will have to deal with that. Um, I went grocery shopping with Trinity and Victrola. That was very pleasant, for the most part. Um, I and they stop and they smile because I think they have forgotten to tell you their favorite bit of news. And they sign. You remember I told you about Marigold?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I actually um I put the paperwork in to adopt her. I have a daughter now.
All right, 1 second.
Uh-oh.
That's a 20. That's a 20 if you want to roll insight.
All right.
It's a dirty 20.
Do they
And
have
this isn't anything
advantage?
bad.
Do they have
It's
advantage? Oh
not,
boy. Do
you have
they have
advantage
advantage?
because you know her. It's a dirty
Meets it
20.
beats it.
Meets it, beats it. Okay, you can see the excitement on her face. She is vibrating. But she's doing a great job at containing that excitement.
I think that they're also they have also sort of been tamping down their wild excitement at they love Marigold so much. They're so happy to been able to adopt her. And I think that when they see that, they're just like, yes, yes, exactly.
Oh, wait, that's right. You need papers to adopt people. Um, I should do that at some point soon for Arya. Shit.
They sign Arya.
I TOC, I've told you about Arya several times.
If it wasn't on recording, it doesn't count.
TOC. She's just whining at them now.
I think that we have a small montage of Juniper uh turning to tell TFC just as she activates a saw and the saw drowns out her words. Um or they're talking, and just as she, starts to say Arya's name, a car backfires a couple streets over. Um or Arya's walking past and opens the fridge just as TUC looks over, so they just see the fridge door. And they look back down at the book. Um as Arya closes the door and goes about her business.
I love them
Currently
so
they've not been
much.
using that Currently they've not been using that tend to perception.
I love them so much. Ah,
Gosh.
Juniper does perk up because she remembers something now. I also talked to Detective Goldie. Goldie and we went to a fight club. I get sort of, not really. It wasn't really a fight club. It was more so you go to a place where you can sit down and eat and watch other people fight. It's like a wrestling ring, but for purely
Hmm.
entertainment. And they did so horrible. Oh my god, Goldie and I both were so annoyed by how terrible they were at fighting. One of the people was an idiot and put their thumb inside their fist to throw a punch, which, if you don't know, that can break your thumb. And guess what happened? Motherfucker broke his thumb.
PUC has their face buried in their hands because that's the basic thing on how to throw a punch.
So I was
Like That's, oh my god.
Goldie gave me permission to go in there and show them how it was done, and it was great. I kicked all of their asses. I got us free food, which, in fairness, that's not really much of a feat. It was ladies' night, so everything was free for the two of us, anyways. But, 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 I got the biggest peppermint mocha. It was huge.
Mm. I think they look extremely pleased with you. And they sign, I wish I had been there to see it. I'm sure that you were magnificent. We should spar
Oh,
sometimes. I don't know why we haven't yet.
oh, actually, uh, Goldie, I think I just got, um, I think Goldie sent me a copy of the recording in the mail the other day. I remember, um, I got a letter from the post office, over in the last town that, hey, you got mail. And they said it was a package.
In the
So I'm pretty sure that that's it. I don't get a lot of packages from that people that aren't suppliers, and this wasn't a commercial or business package. It was like a normal personal package. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So it's waiting for us when we get home.
hmm, they sort of shuffle their feathers. And they go, um, I mean, when we get home, do you want to fight? Maybe outside of town because we probably can't do it on the roof with the garden like I did with Trini.
Sure.
Hmm. They don't say anything. They just I think they just beam at you wordlessly. Just because, yes, yes, it's good.
Very, 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 very. And Juniper is very pointedly ignoring that last part. Don't worry
Which
about
last
it.
part?
The last part where it's like reminder of what happened on the roof.
Ah, yeah,
She will deal with that
yeah.
road when she gets to it.
Mm, we'll lie in that grave once we dig it. Anyways, I think that they um, I think it's around the time this happens that the coffees arrive, and Juniper's has been sort of artfully there's whipped cream, there's little dog treat shaped sprinkles, there's actual literal dog treats on it as well, but
Yes.
it's sort of a dessert drink. And then TUC's is this in a cup. They dip their beak in and go, yeah, that's coffee.
Gods.
Um, they actually they sign. I tried coffee before. Um, there was this frog who had lost one of his many tadpoles, and the tadpole sort of like rolled past me in its little water ball. So that was an interesting afternoon. Seemed like good people though.
That that does seem interesting. I am very confused, but also
Mm,
very intrigued.
yep. And they are of course talking about how they tried coffee with Philippe, who is we could say a connoisseur of coffee.
Fair.
And they look pensive and they sign. Do you remember Mac? That person that in the beginning I had you help me write a bunch of letters to.
Oh, yeah.
Philippe knew Mac, and also another person that I met, Turpin, also knew Mac, and neither of them seemed I don't know. I think it'd be a good idea for me to check up on him at some point. I don't know how much support that young man has.
Hmm. You have Juniper staring down at her coffee now. She wishes that she could do more to help out, but there's only so many people that she can really allow in her own life.
Yeah, I think that when they see her thinking this, that they very gently go, don't do that. We have to take care of ourselves first, otherwise we can't take care of other folks. It. They start to sign something else, but they stop it, and they think for a while, and they go, whenever comes our way happens, we'll be ready. In the meantime, it's just good to be.
Yee. Yee. Maybe one day I'll get to meet them all. That'd be nice.
Yeah, they nod, and I think they go, definitely. At some point, oh boy, you should meet. Uh, I've told you about my other brother, right? William Wilfred Wallflower.
I think so. Yeah?
Mm, I have, in terms of brothers, I have Trini. I guess I have Nebula. It's Nebula sort of without labels right now. And I have William, who is a massive, massive twerp. He, and they get a little bit more animated than my voice will actually do right now. When I finally tracked him down, he had a space helmet on and he was pretending to be an astronaut. And the worst thing is that it actually worked for a couple minutes. But and here's the thing, the dead god actually showed up because I was telling him about what had happened, and they seem to like to be party to those conversations. But he and I think they have to like stop because they're laughing too hard to sign. But then they go on. He successfully somehow convinced the dead god that he was also a formless being, without substance or quality. And so, as far as I know, they still believe that. And it's been 2 weeks and they're still going at it.
I can't laugh any louder, but Juniper is absolutely fucking cackling and dying.
Mm, like, it's the same. But TFC is just like, this has brought them so much joy. Like, so much joy. Is the fact that their dumbass little brother has apparently successfully duped a god.
Well,
And they
you
go,
just
the
casually
last
just
time I.
fuck with the god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Magic rolled a nat 20. And their insight was less than William's deception with a nat 20.
God, Trini gets a nat 20 on intimidating the god. Fucking William gets a nat 20 on deceiving a god.
Mm. meanwhile, TOC is just like they love their little brother so goddamn much.
I love this. I love this all so fucking much.
Mm.
Ah, gods. Well, Juniper is laughing
And
her head off. Oh, go ahead.
they pause and they sober a little bit. They're not going to like draw attention to it, but they have something else to say. Like they will let her laugh for as long as she's going to laugh first.
Alright, let me roll. For how long? Alright, she's able to settle herself down pretty decently quickly. She's a giggle monster, so take that how you will when it comes to
Nice.
that 19 on how long it takes her. But she manages.
Gosh, I love Juniper so goddamn much. Okay, so TUC actually they will pull out of their hammer space. They pull out of their hammer space a folder of it looks like paperwork, like documents, which isn't something they normally have unless they're doing research. And they shuffle through it. There's actually, there's looks like 4 or 5 different documents, but they pull 2 out. They set them on the table and they say, actually, while I was going grocery shopping with Victrola and Trinity, I had these in my hammer space, and Trinity caught sight of them and confronted me about it. And you look, and it is found family paperwork for Victrola and Trinity Ton.
It's what?
They TUC has partially filled out the the found family adoption paperworks that you can get to be like, yeah, this person is my family and I want it on paperwork. Like it's less like I am adopting this person as my child, and more these are these people are family.
Alrighty.
And they oh, you go?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, Juniper is just gonna patiently wait for TOC to continue once she's caught sight of that.
Mm. And they kind of sigh, and they say, I've been hesitating for a little while, for reasons that I can't entirely tell you, but partially because I want to make sure that I can fulfill the promise that this represents, that I have the means to help Victrola and Trinity however I can. But of course, Trinity is irritatingly good at his job at times, and so I am awaiting his decision on it. His and Victrola's both, but I don't know. I feel like you are also very much a part of my family by now, so I would like you to I think be in the know. There's a couple other people, but I haven't even come close to talking to them about it. So they just shrug.
I think Juniper just nods. And
Hmm.
she does look like she's thinking.
Hmm.
While she is thinking, do you want to roll me a perception check?
Sure. Perception?
Yep, perception. He who?
18.
Yeah, that's an 18. So you see over somewhere close to the jukebox, but not really um, so close that it's in the way, you see a piano.
Hmm. Would they know that Juniper plays piano?
Uh, if they've shuffled around in her record player, which also is kind of a cabinet in of itself for like records and music sheets, they have probably seen that gigantic ass pile of piano music sheets. If they've done so
Mm.
in between the time that um, God, iced tea and puppy biscuits happened and now, then they probably would also know that that giant pile of piano music sheets is no longer in there.
Hmm. I think that they nod at the piano and they go, "Don't you play that?"
Play what? Uh,
They,
and
they nod at the piano again, like meaningfully, like, that.
uh, gonna make a whiz save. Oh, that's a minus. I forgot for a moment. Save, and honestly, it's at disadvantage. Because, God, it's been a while. You get a 13 or a 13. And honestly, the DC is a 15.
Days versus
So,
said only 13s.
still not
Oh boy.
quite enough. Uh, uh, there is some clear hesitation, and I'm not even gonna roll a deception, because even though she says, uh, I, I know, no, I don't, she can't seem to stop herself from getting up and going towards it, her eyes completely
Mm.
fixated on it. And there's a lot of hesitation, but she cannot
I
resist.
think they will follow quietly, and they sort of settle on the bench, just sort of waiting. I think that they get that this is something that they don't quite have all the pieces to understand yet.
Okay, Juniper. This is something that you have done a lot of over the years. I don't know how well known these songs are going to be, but I'm going to give you advantage because you know these by heart. That's an 11. I'll take that 11. God, I don't.
It's above an average.
Yeah. uh, she's
Maybe like it takes
clumsy.
a while for her to get going.
Yee. It's a it's a very clumsy start, but it's clear that she knows the keys and things. It's the timing she needs to continue. She's hesitating a lot. She knows she shouldn't be doing this, but she she wants to. Her body seems to want to. Like it's a need, but it's not, and she's trying so hard to resist whatever pull is making her do this, but she can't. And Like I said, I don't know how familiar to everybody who isn't a gigantic Moves fan that knows Moves' early days and shit like that. I don't know how well these songs are known because these are super old. When I say early days, I mean
I will say
Moves was
that
still in college.
TUC has been babysitting Victrola, who does do old timey music, and is a huge DJ Moves fan. So I think perhaps they don't recognize all of them, but maybe a couple,
When I
that they've just heard Victrola playing snippets of.
mm,
Um,
I don't even know
I
if
think
that,
actually,
because like this really is, when I say old, I mean like this is kind of probably hard to find.
mm, perhaps unpublished.
Probably, probably. I mean, it's you know how some people will hand out mixtapes and stuff like that.
Yeah, this was a Moves mixtape.
I don't think so. It was a Moves mixtape. I think it was more so along the lines. It was something that they did together that they loved enough to make a good couple of records of, and probably hand it out to friends. So they are probably floating around, but there's probably not a lot. So if you really wanted some early
Mm.
Move stuff, and you'd probably have to find someone who owns one of those. And it's something that they did together, so it's not just Moves. There is a good few songs on those old records that have her in them.
Hmm. I think that TUC is going to take the help action, and they're just going to. They've settled on the bench, and they just sort of they shuffle close to her, and they sort of tuck they tuck their head next to her, her side, and almost almost sleepily you hear a tiny voice, like that you've only heard laugh before because that's the only time that they can use their voice, hum along.
Alright. Again, with advantage. That's a 15. That's a 19. With the humming,
All right.
Juniper starts quietly singing, and as she does so, she seems to get lost, and her piano playing becomes a hell of a lot smoother. And it's slow for her, but since you do know of Moves' stuff, it's it's kind of a mix between what you would expect of her, like the soft and slow country or the jazzy bop, and Moves' kind of techno thing going on. Like, think Calamity Dame esque.
Oh, that thought's heartbreaking. Babble,
Think
that thought's heartbreaking.
think Calamity Dame esque, if not a little bit older sounding.
Hmm. I think they'll take note of that because they've at least listened to the Calamity Dame soundtrack, the Victrola. But they're not going to break the spell yet.
I do want to
I
reiterate,
think they
these aren't
actually.
the songs from Calamity Dame. These, it's just same
Hmm.
vibes, same kind of bounce.
Yeah, to be sure. Um. but they just, reminds them of, that weird director, choreographer. They're not quite sure that did the music for that. The one that Victrola and Trinity like so much. And I think they don't say anything, they don't sign anything. But the next time Juniper looks down, whenever that is, I imagine it's not for a long while, they see them looking at her, just smiling like whatever they're looking at is the nicest thing in the world.
I am going to roll a wisdom
Like
save to see how long she can go for. Ooh, okay. Alright, that makes sense. It's after a couple more songs that she just goes through like a record. Perhaps a broken record. That she slowly starts to stop. And you can see it in her eyes. She's regretting having done this now as she sits at the piano, just staring at it. She's hurting a lot.
Can I roll insight to see how best they could comfort her right now? Because they don't want to do the wrong thing here.
Yep, go for it. And I'd say that you can roll with advantage because of how well you know her. It's a 26.
26.
Honestly, she could use a hug.
Yeah, I think like as Juniper is staring off into the distance, she just feels like a little warm weight flutter up into her lap, and then they'll flutter up to her shoulders and just give her a big, warm, strong hug.
I'm okay.
Like they just sort of like lay their neck against her.
I'm okay. If we're done with their coffee, I'll go up to the counter and I'll pay and we can continue on our way home.
They pull back and they say, I've got the coffee.
It was me who invited you out.
At this point, it's basically all the same money. We pay the same rent. I think that they just stop and they frame her face with their wings, and they can say they sigh very gently. I don't know why this would be a bad thing, but that was beautiful. You were beautiful. Don't beat yourself up for this. This was good. There's not a reason in the world that would have made it not worth that. Okay?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you ride that 26. She doesn't say anything, but you can see it in her eyes that she is struggling hardcore to believe you. And perhaps it's because she's still. It's because of the things that she can't tell you. Perhaps it might also be because of her own self confidence. There's a lot of things going on in her mind at the moment that she cannot articulate or put together.
Hmm.
There are many
Didn't they
reasons.
just like first? Hmm. They they press their beak to the side of her snoot, just very gently, and they go, "I'll tell you again later, okay? I'll tell you as many times as we need. Why don't you go warm the car up, and I'll take care of the coffees."
She takes a deep breath, close her eyes closed, just stays like that for a moment before. Okay. Um. Yeah. Okay. And did you hear me, by the way? My thing didn't light up, so I was confused.
Yeah, you cut out for a sec. I'm sorry.
Ah, shit. All right. Um. She says, "Okay, I um. Yeah. Okay. Okay." And then she gets up, letting TOC do what they're gonna do, and slowly making her way out towards the truck.
Mm. TUC will go collect the coffees, which I think have barely been touched. And they will go over to the counter and they will pull out their gold, which I'm not going to roll hammer space for because it's not funny at the moment. And they will pay for the coffees and they will also tip another 5 gold each. Just they were never there. Don't mention it to anyone.
TOC.
And then they go out. Then they follow her. Listen, they don't know, man.
TOC over here giving people shut the fuck up money.
Listen. Listen.
I'm glad that someone remembered that that's a thing that needs to be given in this kind of situation.
Mm. And they go over and they give the piano one last sort of look as if it might have the answers. But then they just sort of shut the lid with a very definitive clunk. And then they'll go outside and get in the car, the truck, whatever.
I think it's a pretty silent ride up until the sun starts to set, and then Juniper just looks out at the sky, pulls over on the side of the road, and looks over at TOC and asks, "You want to sleep out in the bed tonight?"
Say
Out in
again?
this area. Oh. What was the last thing you heard?
I got all of it except what Juniper turned to TUC and said.
Okay. She turns to TOC and says, "Do you want to sleep out in the bed tonight?"
Yeah, sounds good.
This area has hardly any places that can cause light pollution. Um, so we should be able to see the stars a lot more clearly than we if we were in town.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that they brighten a little bit because yeah, it's that's a thing, huh? Light pollution. They have noticed that in the city. Um, and I think that they've probably packed some blankets and pillows for just the situation,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
they will
Juniper
go
has
retrieve
brought a
those.
fuck ton of them,
Mm,
especially since it's
that's
getting to
just
be
their
winter.
luggage. Mm, gosh, and I think that they'll arrange things in like a little blanket nest, like they do at home, and they'll just sort of while they're waiting for her to make their way back, they'll just sort of tip their head back to look at the stars.
I'm guessing Juniper is probably already in the giant nest of fluff and soft. And she's
Mm,
also just kind of snuggled up in there, like a puppy Rita, staring up at the stars.
yes. Yeah, they will join her, but they sign. That reminds me of home. Reminds me a lot of home. And they when they look back down at her uh to make their way underneath the blankets, they look probably a little grimmer than you would think stargazing would inspire in a person.
Alrighty.
And they sort of just curl up in the crook of her neck and her shoulder. And I think before they drift off, I think that they tip their head to look at her and they go, "Hey Juniper,
Hmm?
I am so damn lucky to have you in my life. I could not ask for a better friend." And I think that they just sort of they tug their head underneath the wing and slump against her neck and her shoulder. And after a while, you hear the chicken is making soft little asleep noises.
Yeah. Yeah, friend. I'm
Mm.
glad we're friends. And I
I
think,
think unless you have anything else for today,
no, I
I
think
think that's where
that's,
we call it.
yeah, that's what we can call it. Thank you much, everybody, for
Mm.
listening, and thank you so much, future listeners. I hope you enjoyed.
Hmm.
God, I,
Just good friends going out for coffee. It's good friends too.
you know, as you do. Which, friends do. We're just also
Yeah.
sitting here in our boat.
Mm.
Don't worry about it.
All right. I'm gonna stop recording.